Hello, folks at home. Welcome to another one of these AOS Scourge of Gyrian conversations with myself, Zach, and off to my right, your left.
Yep.
It depends on which way you're looking at the TV, of course, but is Saray. Saray, how's it going? Saray and I are hanging out doing this show here today, which is fun. Later today, a reminder that we do actually have a game. The game is between Saray and I. Meg will be there to produce, so that'll be fun. And the game does not have Seraphon in it. For that, you're going to wait till Saturday. Saturday's game is going to be John with new Soulblight Gravelords versus Meg with her Seraphon. And yes, folks, there will be a Carnosaur there.
God.
But for tonight, you've got for tonight you've got me and Saray.
And daughters.
Iron Jaws and Daughters. We're gonna see how it goes. Okay, let's say that we all saw what happened today on Warcom, and we're all trying to psychologically recover from what a Carnosaur's damage output looks like. The other thing I want to bring out, of course, is thanks for being here if you are here right now. We know that there's a reveal going on for the video game thing. What is it called? Skulls?
Warhammer Skulls.
Warhammer Skulls, which is cool. But we appreciate you being here. Now, we do have some science to get into right out of the gate. Let's get into science.
Wait, what's Dark Heresy? Legit, we didn't watch the Skulls event.
We didn't. Yeah. Here, look. You guys can see that we're gonna ask you guys. We assume that people were like, "Oh, no one's gonna." Well, Saray was like, "No one's gonna watch the show." Sorry, I'm like people. I didn't want to like make fun of Saray, but now I'm just gonna do it anyway. And he's probably right. However, I will also say that my assumption is that those things are boring and that people jump around on live streams. Like Saray, you grew up too late to like be forced to watch cable TV. It sucks. You just sit there with the remote and they literally make a button that's like go back to the previous channel.
Yeah, I grew up with that.
Yeah.
Although I didn't have cable, I had regular
just 6 channels. Yeah.
7 channels. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So you just go back and forth on bullshit anyway. Okay, let's do rankings. Speaking of bullshit, this is not bullshit at all. Here we go. Today, it's all about Seraphon. So we've got we're mostly going to be doing some Slond and some Saurus stuff today, but we do have a Slond here to start right out of the gate. Saray, how do you feel about this guy?
I feel very good. Next.
Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, honestly.
I think Seraphon has one of the strongest lines in AOS. I really want to know the numbers of people who got into AOS because of dinosaurs. I remember when they first came out, I had no interest in Age of Sigmar, but when this line, like revamp, got shown off, it was like, oh man, I might have to get into this.
I will say this.
I didn't.
I will say this. We have done a poll of our audience. We probably will do another one soon, maybe late this year, about what factions they're interested in playing. And the way we kind of asked it was, what's your favorite faction? That's it.
Yeah.
This won. Seraphon won. And I think they were tied, however, with Skaven. Seraphon and Skaven were tied.
I can see that.
We also know that when we air battle reports, Seraphon battle reports tend to do particularly well. In fact, sorry, let me be candid. Certain armies do better than others. We know this is a very popular army. There's a way, if you're a Sigmar player and you want to know what are the most popular armies, it's super easy. Ready? It's all the armies that start with S, except for Sons of Behemoth, which are the least popular army, and Sylvaneth, which are kind of in the middle. Other than that, every army that starts with S is actually scientifically,
we've won the number.
Kind of scientifically does the best, and with Skaven and Seraphon being really the top two. So we know it's a popular army. You're right, Saray. I feel like they have a lot of old models, and you just sit and wait for like, well, when's that old model going to get updated? Because when it does, it's going to look sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a highly scientific army. Lots of floating. I've seen someone say that frogs are not scientific. That is wrong. If you've ever seen the documentary about that one park, the dinosaur park, Jurassic Park, you will remember that they used frog DNA to create dinosaurs. So it's highly scientific. They had a little animation. It was great.
Created a bit of a problem, but as we know, life finds a way. Moving on to the second one we're going to take a look at here today. This is the humble Saurus warrior.
Humble, not so humble.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys kick ass.
Yeah, look at this weapon.
Look at the shield.
I know.
These things are amazing.
Not to mention this thing can just bite you too when it gets angry enough. You can just hit. Look at this thing. Like this weapon is big, and it sucks because it's like swords are scary, but this thing looks like it's like extra strong, and then it has a club that also spikes all over it.
It's like a mace and a stick.
The thing is, right? It's like a hillbilly baseball bat with barbed wire wrapped around it, except for like well done.
Yeah, it's a bat with nails through it.
Yeah, exactly. This guy is awesome. So it's funny. Brett has all the old Saurus stuff, and you look at me, you're like, oh, they look good. It was the first time I realized. You look at me like you look good, and then you look at, and Brett did an awesome job painting them. Meg did an awesome job painting hers. It's not about the paint job. You look at the new ones. Then I saw Meg's, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, no.
These new ones are really good.
Yeah, that's why people want the new ones. Okay, the old ones are adorable though. That is for sure.
They're good. They're a little derpy, but
Meg,
why would it be a chameleon? We're talking about Carnosaurs today.
Yeah, a Carnosaur. So okay, now one thing, Saray, I noticed scientifically, historical science. Yeah. History is kind of science. Did you notice? So this is a pretty old model, actually.
Yeah.
This is a late fantasy model, I think.
Is it? I think it's.
It's not.
It definitely wasn't in the second wave. I don't think. Or maybe it was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's late fantasy. This guy is actually. I didn't realize it. If you compare him on top to these guys.
Close. That's what's throwing me off.
He's the forerunner for the new how Seraphon would eventually go on to look. Yeah, if you compare him to say the old Saurus warriors, he looks pretty epic.
Yeah, he does. He's pretty epic.
Last Lizardman release for fantasy, YouTube user says. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've already talked about, so this is kind of one of those weird things, right?
Yeah.
Historically, we've talked about Snarlfang cavalry. Having two riders is more scientific.
Yeah.
This is weird because this is two lizards. Same species.
Yeah. Well, wait, not same species.
Science. It's weird science, like the movie.
Not same species. Remember, it's King Philip came over for good spaghetti. Spaghetti is the species. That is the exact animal.
What the hell are you talking about?
you said it's kingdom, phylum, order, family, genus,
spaghetti.
Species. Spaghetti. Yeah. So this would be the same, I think, family.
Yeah, close enough. This is very cool. It's somehow, I don't know. This is one we're ranking first, right?
Yeah. Do you want to rank this one first?
I think it holds up really well for a late fantasy model. I can kind of tell that it's late fantasy.
Yeah.
More specifically in the Carnosaur itself.
Yes.
I feel like if it was a modern take, like they were doing it nowadays.
Yeah.
A good place to look is the Agrodons, right? There's just a little bit more definition.
Yep.
The details here are pretty sharp, but they could be sharper.
They're sharp. They could be sharper.
T-Rex with the lizard.
It's also a little minimal. You know what's very funny is when we got the pre notification about this from Games Workshop. We were like, well, Meg, you're going to have to paint up a Carnosaur. And Meg was like, oh, okay. Meg painted the Carnosaur itself in about a day, and she was shocked. She was like, "Oh, that was easy."
And then too bad.
We were looking at it, and we were like, "Yeah, it actually doesn't have that much going." Like you said, a modern one, you have to imagine would probably have more armor. He might have things hanging off of him more, just like way more going on. And this
simple.
This one just doesn't have that.
Anyway, this is pretty high for me.
Yeah.
Though maybe not as high as people are thinking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to break some parts today, but don't worry, Seraphon are gonna rank pretty high.
Yeah.
Is this cooler than Mega Gargants?
That's a really good question.
I think theoretically it is.
Yeah. I let's see. Mega Gargants are the cracking the bottom
10 and 11.
here. 10 and 11 of our top 10.
Like, I don't think he's cooler than Carthusa.
No. Is he cooler than I think he's cooler than a Gatebreaker, though.
Okay. Yeah, that feels
scientifically correct.
Is he really? If you had two of them right next to you, and you're at the store, you say you can only get one. Which one are you getting? You really think you'd get the dinosaur? The Mega Gatebreaker Mega Gargant is really cool.
I'll tell you this. If I was a kid and I was looking for a sick bathtub toy, I would go with the.
Naked man.
I'd go with the guy on the Carnosaur for my bathtub toy. Which one do I want to play in the bathtub more? I definitely want to play with the Carnosaur more. I mean, I want to play. I want to have them fight each other.
That's science.
I want to have them fight each other. And here's the thing: if the Carnosaur charges, he's gonna win.
Oh, he's absolutely winning.
So, I don't know. I think so. Bathtub science says
You know what? You're right. If I was a parent and my child chose the Gatebreaker, I might just veto that and say, you know what? You're not playing in the bathtub with this slovenly.
Something's a little wrong. What do you call Gargants?
Schlubby vagrants.
Schlubby vagrants. An army of giant schlubby vagrants. Okay.
It's a bad look. I don't want to explain this to Grandma.
Exactly.
Get the killer dinosaur.
Okay. Here's the thing. I feel like this might get better because I actually think he's kind of the worst of these three.
I think he is.
Yeah. So this might
Seraphon eating good.
We might have a Seraphon invasion here in the top 10.
I think so.
Is the Slan cooler than King Broad?
Yes.
Yeah. Is he cooler than your boy the Changeling? You love this guy. Him and the Changeling would have some interesting duels, I'll say that.
Yeah, it'd be very magical.
Yeah. Well, before we talk about the Changeling,
man, it's really hard.
Do you like him more than a Gore Warden?
I don't think so.
No.
I think I still like the Gore Warden more.
So
Gore Warden's iconic.
New number 5?
I think it's new number 4.
New number 4. Okay.
Yeah. As I love the Change. Changeling is one of my favorite models, but scientifically, I think this is actually better.
Yeah. Did you know that Star Master is actually all the Slan's last names? That's why they have that. They all have the same last name.
They're all related?
They're all related. Yeah, Star Master is their last name.
Big family.
Yeah. Okay, last, and I don't know if least, or probably not, is the Humble Saurus Warrior. Right out of the gate, I feel like we might be having a new top battle line miniature by quite a bit.
Yeah.
By quite a bit.
This is definitely one of the best standard infantry models.
Currently, standard infantry number 1, I think, is it's the Marty Thrall at 33.
Is that?
I think so.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. Okay, we can scroll down. It's not going to be this high. It's real cool, but it's not that cool.
He's not top 10 cool?
I don't think so.
Okay. Iridan the Snitch. Iridan the Snitch started off pretty high. Fair to say, we also did Stormcast the second day.
Very early.
But like the Brood Terror has fallen quite far. Let's start there. I want to know, is he cooler than Iridan the Snitch?
No, he's not cool than Iridan. It's very cool, but he's not cool than Iridan the Snitch.
Is he cooler than an Ironweld Great Cannon?
No. Ironweld Great Cannon has a man drinking on it.
Yeah. What about a Black Coach?
No. I feel like if I put the Black Coach any lower, someone's going to send an assassin to my house.
You think so?
Yes.
You know what's really funny is one of these days we're gonna like be done and we're gonna have all the models, and I don't know when that's gonna happen, but I'm actually curious to know how many Age of Sigmar models there are. I feel like currently being 17 is pretty good, although
it's quite good.
Presumably you're gonna fall. We've actually ranked 52 models.
We just broke 50, so
yeah. Okay.
This is
Zenestra? How does he compare to Zenestra?
No, it's not cool than Zenestra. This is bring me around to Ragnarok.
Yeah, right under Ragnarok, you think, or over? I think he's
he's not as cool. They're not as cool as Bastion. Put him right below Bastion.
Right below
What's
Bastion.
below Bastion?
Oh, look at this. He's created like a plateau here, I think, with the Frigo Cav.
Yeah.
These are some hot models. I love, Meg has done a really amazing job painting hers. You guys will see him, like I said, Saturday if you haven't already. We'll be sure to get some close-ups. I can't wait for you guys to see, if you haven't in Discord already, her Carnosaur. It looks incredible. And these are really cool, seeing them all together. Meg actually uses hers for Saurus Guard, usually. She's not been using them for Saurus Warriors. I think we're all really excited to see a Saurus Guard kit come out that looks like this, but with more armor.
Dude, that would be sick.
I know Meg won't like painting it because she doesn't like painting armor, but like, look at this guy and imagine him with more armor and like a cooler weapon, or I don't know.
And a fucking fancy hat.
A hat, yes, a big fancy hat. Yeah.
Just make Empire Greatswords actual lizardmen.
Dude, I know. Dude, that would actually be cool if Saurus Guard were like, well, you think they would have a shield because they're guard, but like, I want them to have like a pole arm, or like I love the guy in Game of Thrones who's like has the shield and the spear, and he does all the crazy stuff with the spear. That's what I want Saurus Guard to have. What's that?
Pedro Pascal?
No, Pedro Pascal doesn't really do anything crazy because he just, spoiler, gets himself killed almost immediately after entering the show as cast. No, the guy who's like Daenerys' right-hand man. He's like he like barely talks. And he's from he's from Unsullied or whatever. Yeah, I want like Saurus Guard to be like that vibe, like big shield, cool spear, spinning it around, you know, phalanxing up when they need to, and then just like, like, you know, spear going in.
Very
Grey Worm, thank you, Saul. Yeah. Okay. This is great. We're doing good. We're doing science.
I'm glad you could join us for today's science.
Yeah, thank you for thanking us for doing the science. We know that you are doing that. We know that you're thanking us. It won't hurt in chat to type thank you for the science every now and then, but we know that you feel that way. Okay, now let's hope that when I go to browser,
we have a super chat.
Oh my god, we do have a super chat. We know this guy. Meg says chameleons at number 1. Thanks for super chatting, Meg. We do get most of that money back, but you know, it's about 30 cents for us to super chat. It's worth it, I think. I get why she does it. She's talking about the Saray, her stupid little Hunters of Hawanchi.
I mean, the chameleons are really cool.
They're so cool. She's done also a good job painting them. But
I'll write it down in my journal, science journal.
That when we get to them, they're number 1.
That Meg says has paid, she's given us a grant.
Oh yeah.
So if you feel very strongly about any of the rankings that you've seen today, you can give us a science grant, and we'll look into your independent research that you've done, assume you've done it, and we'll post your findings to the list.
Thanks, John. We know you. Thanks, John. We know we can count on your support. He says, great science chat all around. And thank you, Polychrome. He's been a lab manager for almost 2 years. Polly says, Reviewer 2, what is this dribble? There isn't even any citations. Well, the thing is that not everyone.
This is Age of Sigmar science.
Yeah, and not.
And just for future reference, we'll eventually do a tier list of sciences. Age of Sigmar science is actually a higher plane of science.
It doesn't need citations. Yeah.
There's like this is like regular science.
Yeah.
Here's like social science is like adjacent.
Yeah, social sciences aren't real.
And then Sigmar science is here. You can tell I'm doing science because of my hand movements.
Your hand movements.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we don't use citations.
We don't need
magic.
that. Yeah. Okay. Let's chat this. There's a couple fun things to chat before we go on to the actual PDF. One, this guy did go up in points. You know, it's kind of
70 points.
70 points. He's still, I think that puts him in second place behind Crethusa. I will say this. We actually did look up his war scroll in the current edition. It was actually scarier than I thought. But it's not as scary as the new one, that's for sure. The other thing, Saray, you pointed out to me that people have been pointing out that now I want to point out to other people is...
Enhance.
Okay, so there's a few things going on here. We are a hobby channel. We do hobby stuff, so I want to point out a couple things. One, you can actually do a lot of cool stuff with the tree kit. This tree, for example, is just loaded with leaves. Where is it? All the way over here.
That one.
And it looks super cool that way.
Yeah, I thought it was a new piece of terrain. I was like, I've never seen that.
That said,
no, it's the same piece with a ton of extra leaves on it.
I feel like I think it's probably pretty safe to say that they do some photoshopping in these, and it does seem like to create some cool like texture and stuff and variation. They made this one.
We have the same smoke machine.
Yeah, I know. We don't know if we have the same one, but we have a really good one too. So, haha, GW. This right here, this tree in the middle, just looks way smaller compared to this one, which I think is supposed to be in the background. Anyway, we're not here to exactly talk about trees. We identified this thing in the middle here with the little snake thing. That's just some bits thrown together onto one of the pillars from an old thing. Over here on the right, with this circle, is what we were hoping we wanted to enhance and ask folks at home. What is this? What is this? Is this thing on top?
A kit bash?
Yeah, is this a kit bash? The thing on top, and then you got this thing on the bottom. I don't think that's
what makes me think it's a kit bash. Is the bottom? It looks like two different pieces of terrain just stuck together, but I can't identify the top piece.
I can't identify this front plaque thing with like the teeth on it up at the top.
Yeah, it looks like a frog skull weirdly.
Now I will say this. There, going back to like 2012, there's been some really amazing towel terrain showing up in White Dwarfs that never was real terrain. It just never was. It looked amazing. It looked super cool. Never was real terrain. I don't know if it was pink foam, but pretty sure it was not pink foam. There's also this little guy in the front here, this little wall thing. Again, that it looks a little too nuanced to be pink foam. We actually, real quick before we jump in, the Daughters of Cain battle tome for last edition and the edition before actually had these clearly 3D printed pillars on them that were like designed to look like Daughters of Cain stuff. And some of the 3D printing people in our Discord, of which we have a lot in our community, were confirmed. I was like, do I see FDM print lines here? And they were like, yep, that's what that is. And they were kind of telling me, yeah, that we know they use them over at Games Workshop to do stuff, but some stuff just is never going to go to market or whatever. So it's cool to see, and it does make one wonder. So I don't know. People are. I like that. We have a very scientific Saray audience here, and I like that people are being skeptical. A lot of people are saying. Liam says he thinks the top bit is from the Stegodon kit. Is that in case you don't build an Engine of the Gods or something, you get that left over? I haven't seen the Stegodon kit.
It does kind of look like it if you look at the monster directly to the left. It does.
It does look kind of exactly like that. Yeah. And again, we also, like I said, I could tell that they're playing Photoshop with trees. This tree in the back is way bigger than the tree on the right. So, okay. Interesting. Food for thought. Okay. Also, food for thought. This thing.
Food for dinosaurs.
Seraphon did not get a new battle formation. I think that's okay. I don't think Seraphon players care. I will say that I think that they might have enjoyed one because they sort of have like the who's who of classic battle formations. They got their plus to cast. They got their pile in D3 and do chomps. They have their pick one thing and two other things get to do it as well. It's really like the roll out the 4th ed classics of battle formations.
They're all decent.
Yeah, they're all decent for sure, and you can tech in different ways. But we're seeing Scourgic Iran give us some more flavor on battle formations. I think Seraphon unfortunately missed out on that. Instead, we get 3 new heroic traits, and I find this interesting because, Saray, let me first start off by saying, and Tad is in chat, and Tad is a competitive Seraphon player. Let me first start off by saying I think Seraphon are one of the factions that did not need help, like Daughters, but there were some weak spots that would have been that are nice to have shored up for them. I don't think there were very many weak spots in this army. And in fact, some of the things that were weak spots is not what they addressed. I'm a little surprised when it comes to War Scrolls. We were all assuming we would get Triceratops-centric stuff. Engine of the Gods, Stegodon, just the basic Stegodon. Or we thought maybe we would get like the Pterodon, Ripterdactyl stuff, like the flying skinks. That's what I was
expecting. A flamethrower army.
Yeah, or that's the other one, right? Spawn a Kotek, maybe. Yeah. I was thinking. So, no, we didn't get that. What we got was pretty amazing, and we'll look at it here in a second. So, okay, as far as heroic traits go, these are all fine. These are all fine. Yeah, bye, Liam. These are all fine, but the problem here is that what they're up against in the current book, I don't know if they win. So, first one, Seraphon get to pick an asterism, which is kind of a strong ability at the start of the game. If they achieve the goal, a particular goal in the asterism, then in round 3, they get to pick 1 more. What this does is let you pick 2 more when you get to round 3 if you've achieved your asterism for round 1. This could be good. It's not bad. It's not bad. It has a condition attached to it, which is, first of all, you're already trying to achieve your asterism. Some are easier to achieve than others. If you fail to achieve your asterism, you don't get your second asterism. Normally, you're like, okay, well, whatever. That's my battle trait. Now you also just wasted your heroic trait too. It's kind of the problem. If you get it, asterisms are good. They are a little situational. And I think one of the things that's happening in round 3 is I'm not sure that there are a lot of good choices once the game gets going.
Right.
Yeah. Right. There's like the movement one. The 3 ones that I see are the plus to cast, rend reduction, and bonus movement in early game. So, or in your own territory. I think it's fine. I could definitely see people trying this out. I doubt I would see it on a competitive table, at a top table. Yeah. But it's
just too conditional.
Yeah.
And like, cause like what? And I mean conditional because it's like, okay, well, what if by turn 3 the game's like kind of decided already?
Yeah, right. And to be honest with you, some of the asterisms, if you've achieved them, are a pretty good indication that you're just winning anyway, right? Like, yeah. Okay, Child of the Stars is we've seen this one before. This is not new. This is the gem for Sylvaneth. It's I die, I get back up.
Always good.
Always good. I think that this is super interesting on both Aslan. It's frustrating on Aslan. On Aslan, he could then go on to do a lot in the next turn.
Yeah.
I think it is quite good on a Carnosaur,
Which you'll see.
which we'll see in a second. You absolutely don't want this on a Carnosaur. This army does not have insane amounts of ways to heal, but it does have some. And frankly, Slann doesn't need that. I mean, Slann is 9, 8 health. He just needs to be alive to cast magic. If he can get back up, and maybe you get an opportunity to rally him, you're probably back in business, more or less. That said, I don't think people like these because of the 3-up.
It's too unreliable.
Yeah.
Although it's still very good.
Yeah, so... Yeah, again, probably not showing up. Chosen of Kietzo is great if you are doing a bunch of...
States of Darkness only. I don't want to see them.
What's that?
In Seraphon. I don't want to see Chosen in Seraphon too.
Yeah. This is really good if you are teching into skinks. Pick a visible friendly non-monster skink unit that's in combat and wholly within 12 inches. Again, on a 3-up, the target can move up to 8 inches. They can just leave combat. This could be Raptidons, which is what's really cool. So if your Raptidons get charged, on a 3-up, you can get them out of trouble. And then, on your turn, charge back in, which Raptidons want to be doing. So if you are super into Raptidons, Ripperdactyls, Pterodons, even just big groups of skinks...
Sorry.
Yeah, even just big group... Oh, Dawn of War. Okay, yeah, well...
I was looking at the chat, Polly.
Yeah,
You're right.
We'll get there. We'll get to that part of the show. Okay. This is good if you're doing like mega skink stuff, right? Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like it. I don't know if you take it over, as John brought up. And Chad, I don't know which one you like, but Meg has had a lot of great success with the unrendable heroic trait. For just quick context, folks at home, I have them up here. Ready? It's, Beastmaster is +2 to move in a bubble for friendly cavalry and monsters. Seraphon cavalry and monsters. Really good. So, it's
I thought Skinks already had an ability like this.
There is
I don't know why I'm thinking that.
Yeah, they do. They have a lot of weird redeploy and weird tricks. And then there's a battle formation that techs into it even more. Yeah, Skinks currently, Saray, when they use a redeploy, they roll 2 dice and pick the highest.
Oh, I see.
And then I think their the battle formation is like, what is it? Multiple Skinks. Here we go. 3 Skinks can move D6 in your shooting phase.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So heroic traits that you're going up against, in my opinion, all 3 of these are like kind of good, the existing ones. It's a +2 bubble to move for Cav and monsters.
Which is really good.
Really good. Being of the stars, ignore modify. You become a Night Haunt.
That's really good.
Really good. And you're probably going to be putting that on somebody with a 4-up, just FYI. And then last but not least is probably the worst one, but still like not bad. It's if this unit charged, this unit being the hero that has this, 1 unit nearby, wholly within 12, can use all attack for free. I want to talk about this one because when we get to the guy, the Carnosaur, Saray, you and I were chatting before the show. We were saying this actually ends up being a lot of interesting combos between monster and heroic trait that you can put on this guy. Yeah. I'm not sure what's
the most terrifying single in the game. Yeah. Maybe. Monstrous. I want everyone in chat start thinking of like the scariest output for a single model.
Single model.
Yeah. And maybe unit overall. Because I know what
definitely not unit overall. In fact, Meg and I actually played a game last night with the new Saurus and the new Daughters of Cain, and we had both of these things happen. We had the Carnosaur go crazy, and we had a unit of Witch Elves go crazy. and it was
Casualness with which a Carnosaur seems to kill things is kind of insane.
yeah. Okay, here we go. Monstrous traits. Titan of the land. This first one, if you're not a Seraphon player, but you've played against Seraphon, you're probably just going to say, oh my god, this is so much more annoying. But I want everybody to keep this in mind with the unrendable component, heroic trait. Because I think there's combos here that are really interesting, and this is one of them. Titan of the land. This unit counts as a terrain piece for the purpose of picking targets for the Realm Shaper's engine power unleashed ability, but he doesn't take damage himself when he gets zapped. So
he's just a conduit to zap things.
He's a conduit to zap things. This means that, if you're unaware of what this means exactly, Meg last night tried this out on the Troglodon. It didn't get to go off, but Meg typically builds the Troglodon, Skink Oracle and Troglodon, to be a bit of a tar pit. If you got in and you were tar pitting something, in your hero phase, you could target this guy, and he would do D3 mortals to up to 3 units that are within 3 of him. So if he's tar pitting things, he can zap a bunch of things in the hero phase, do a little extra mortal damage. I think this is cool. It's going to struggle to compete with the one underneath of it.
Yeah.
Which is add 1 to the hit rolls for companion weapons.
Ancient Defender, just a passive add 1 to hit
Just
rolls.
Just a casual monster hitting on 3s, and when you see what we're getting.
Oh God!
Now I will say this. There's a case to be made not to take this one, and instead to take the next one, because I want to talk about the combo with the next one. I think the top combo is you put Ancient Defender and Being of the Stars, which is the unrendable, on a Carnosaur. I think that's the top combo. This next one is kind of interesting, though. Pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit to be target any combat phase. This is a rampage. Roll a die. If it equals or exceeds the save characteristic, -1 to save for that target for the rest of the turn. So this is good against Chosen. This is good against Stormcast. This is good against Ard.
Yeah, your 3-ups.
Any 3-ups especially. I like the one that gives this guy a free alt attack, which we just called what is it? The heroic trait Reptilian Cunning. So he charges. He gives himself a free alt attack. So he's now hitting on 3s. And here's the thing. Ancient Defender is good, but it doesn't help the guy on top's weapon. He already hits on 3s, but when you see his weapon profile on the charge, you're going to want to be hitting on 2s. So I'm thinking one kind of combo is you give this guy Reptilian Cunning and Armor Cruncher. You charge in. You alt attack for free anyway, so you're already +1 to hit. And you're taking Chosen from 3 to 4.
Yeah.
And worse, if you get your ability off, which we're going to look at in a second, they can't use CP to make that up. And now you're taking something on a 3-up and you're putting them at 5 and 6-ups. And when you see the damage output of this monster, this guy I think he probably picks up 7 Chosen with this combo, maybe 10. maybe 10.
Depending on how the rolling goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, James in chat saying, I kind of maybe agree with him. It might be more interesting to spread these out on a couple of different Gyran Carnosaurs.
Yeah.
Because that is it's just so much potential damage everywhere.
Yeah.
And toughening them up is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't know that
any bonus is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know that double Carnosaur is a bad idea. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
The only reason I think it probably is a bad idea is sort of the same reason that I like Mournfangs and Beastclaw Raiders. It's that Croxagors, while more expensive, are just going to be more wounds to get through, and a little bit more consistent than this guy. Just because of the number of attacks.
Yeah.
Speaking of this guy, Saray, any thoughts on this page before we look at before we look at the lead here today?
I mean, we've been seeing it every show. It seems So they were very smart in when they revealed the change to all attack and all defense, because pretty much every update to Scourge of Gyran has included a way to get +1 to hit
Yeah.
without doing all attack.
Yeah.
So, just like we say in pretty much every other stream, with the change to auto attack, a way to get +1 to hit is just gone up way. Like the stocks on it have gone way up.
Yeah, you're going to use all out attack, I think, in like very desperate situations or where you really need to make sure something happens, or in cases where the best defense is going to be a good offense, and you're just like, well, if I can just kill 4 Croxagors right now, then that's better than trying to use all defense to see.
Well, I have a 6-up save anyway, and I'm not going to get a save anyway.
Right,
Might as well attack, right? Or a 7. I'm not going to get a save because of their rend. Kind of a deal.
Okay, let's look at this guy. I do not believe that his wheel has changed. So there's that. His stat line has certainly changed.
Yeah.
It's already not bad, but it has gotten into, we figure probably stupid country. Saray, what, low 50s it came out to? Something?
Yeah. But damage potential ends up being in the low 50s.
Yeah, if everything goes right, which is a bad indicator, but it is also kind of like a, you can take that and say, well, what happens if half of that goes through?
Yeah.
Because that's because that's a
What
little
happened.
more likely, right? Okay. Sun, Stone, Spear, and his Gauntlet. Now, he's lost his shooting attack. I don't think anyone really cares about that.
Literally, a YouTube user just said, I missed that.
Yeah. Yes.
Everyone except the YouTube user will miss that.
Oh, right. Chad points out that one of the asterisms is crit 2 hits on companion weapons.
Oh my god.
I know. It gets it just keeps getting worse when you look at the rest of the army.
Stop telling me things.
Okay, Sun, Stone Spear, and Sun Bolt Gauntlet. On the damage, +1 charge. 6 attacks, 3, Ren 1, 2 damage. It's quite good. This is kind of what I'm saying. You really, this weapon gets a little overshadowed by what we're about to look at, but you do kind of want this hitting on 2s, which is why I'm like slightly making a case not to take Ancient Defender and get +1 on companion weapons to hit. Because I'm like, I think you want to all attack with this guy anyway. And if you all attack with this guy and have the unrendable, that is currently, unless it gets FAQ'd, you don't suffer a consequence. So you give this guy instead Armor Cruncher and make him unrendable. He charges in, you spend the CP to all attack, everything goes up.
Yeah. I think you make a good point. I think you're right. I think just ignoring the negatives of auto attack so you can get the +1 hit on everything is probably better.
And if you get the roll off,
it's not probably better. It's just better.
It's better. And if you get the roll off against like a Chosen or a Vanguard, you're like you're getting some of these weapons through, and you're saying Ren 1 or 2, but 1 maybe they can't all defend because you roared them. And 2, they're also already -1 to the save. You're making Vanguard save against this 1 attack on a 6. And there's nothing they can do about it. That's crazy. Okay. So that's nasty. That's right there, 18 damage on the charge. Now, these other 2 require you to go into... it's worth pointing out, let's talk about Frenzied by Blood before we go back to the stat line. If he's within 6 inches of any damaged enemy units, or 6 inches of any enemy units that had models slain in the same turn, you add 1 to damage for his companion weapons.
Yeah, and you did lose your shooting attack, fair, but this is an army where it's very easy to do damage in the magic phase. Very
easy. Croak will help you make this happen. Also, you have a stupid terrain piece that will help you make this happen.
Yeah.
Guess how much the terrain piece costs? Oh, it's free. So you have a free terrain piece that will make this happen for you.
Arc of Sotek, Spot of Chotek. There's many ways to proc a little bit of shooting damage.
Yeah. Okay, so 3 attacks, hitting on traditional monster, 4s, 2s, Ren 2, good. 4 damage going to 5 damage when you're near Frenzy. That's wild. 3 5 damage attacks, that's 15. For folks keeping track at home, that's 18 plus 15, that's 33. So that's pretty wild right away. Okay, next is his forearms. 5 attacks here. Again, 4s, 2s, Ren 1. 3 damage going to 4. So there's 20 damage. So folks, keep track at home. That's how we got to 53. Again, if half of this goes through after some pluses, you're looking at about 26 points of damage. Which is a lot. Not a lot of things have 26 health in the game.
Yeah.
How
many wounds does Archeon have? Oh, 25.
25.
Oh no. Now, of course, okay, we're exaggerating. Obviously, Archeon has like a ward and a good save, and ways to fuck it up. But
he has a good save.
See what we're saying, right? This is crazy.
Right. You almost look at this guy and are just like, okay, cool. Beat stick independent operator. Now, by the way, real quick, let's look at his abilities. Before we talk about the Agrodon ability, worth pointing out that he has old school 3rd edition Roar, which is that on a 3-up rampage, enemy unit in combat with him cannot use commands. This might end up being a little less exciting with the changes to alt attack and alt defense. But again, alt defense is against one target. You will absolutely want to alt defend against this guy. You will absolutely want to alt defend against this guy, especially if you are on a 3-up, going to a 2-up, and then dealing with his bullshit of all of his minuses. You're going to say, every weapon that goes through is so much damage, I just need to make the odds as best as I can on the die. And this ability says, nope, I'm not going to help you with that at all. In fact, I'm going to make it worse.
Yeah.
He lets Agrodons hang on to their rage tokens. This is actually quite good. This guy and 6 Agrodons is quite a hammer.
Fast moving. That's like a fucking hammer from space.
It is a nasty hammer. I think it makes them very good. It starts to make them, like Croxagors. Because this is one of their kind of catches is these rage tokens go away. And they're losing, I think it's number of attacks. If I can, Tad, if somebody gets to it before I remember what perk they are getting from this. But I thought it was number of attacks based on their rage tokens.
Colonel Panic pointing out like the game is getting very lethal. Yeah. I'm wondering what something's gonna have to give, right?
Yeah, attacks. Yeah. Well, yeah, so in our game last night, to Colonel Panic's point, I had a unit of Witch Elves that Meg had reduced from 20 to 14 in the magic phase with a Comet's Call in my magic phase, in my hero phase. She got off a good Comet's Call, she rolled hot, it killed 6 of them. I charged them in with the buffs I had, half of their attacks, half of 14 Witch Elves attacks.
Yeah.
Killed. I did get Mind Razor off, full disclosure. And weirdly, she didn't counter it, and she's a really good magic army, so it's really good luck. Half of the attacks wiped out a unit of Croxagors.
A single. I'm reading first unit Croxagors.
Yeah. She was also out of CP, so she didn't have the ability to alt defend because she had countercharged in the Croxagors, ironically. They were killed immediately. Then, no surprise, this thing piled in and wiped them out. So, yep, that's pretty lethal. In one round of combat, 14 Witch Elves, not hard to kill, and 6 Croxagors gone because of it bonkers lethality. But the thing is that the game also has a lot of ways to not have lethality be a thing. Like, there are a lot of defensive techs.
Yeah, I think it's becoming much more rock, paper, scissors. Where it's like either you have a way to counter this or you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. So exactly. And most armies have a lot of tools, and theoretically this should be encouraging you to bring different things, right? The game is lethal, but there is still, like I said, elements of wow, that's going to be hard to get through even for this, right?
Yeah.
20 Plague Bearers. Hard to get through.
You murdered. I don't know. I think you murdered 20 Plague Bearers.
You think this guy picks up 20 Plague Bearers?
Yeah, I think so.
-1 to wound. I mean, look, these aren't great. Like, okay, -1 to wound on his massive jaws. That's the 5 damage weapon. 3 dice, looking for 3s and 3s again. You're dropping 1, and there's a decent chance you're dropping 2, right? And then they've got a 5-up ward. I don't know, like, yeah. I don't think he gets through 20 blade bearers. And they don't really care, right? Like,
yeah, it's fair.
That's sort of what they're there for.
20 witch elves though.
20 witch elves, he deletes immediately. Yeah.
No, I'm saying 20 witch elves into play because we're talking about lethality.
20 witch elves, especially with Mind Razor, 20 witch elves will almost guarantee wreck. Yeah, but without Mind Razor, with some of the new Crethusa buffs, I think it's still possible. But yeah. Okay, so what do we think?
Listen, I hate it, but if I was playing Seraphon, I would fucking love this. This is like right up my alley. It was like, a big scary dinosaur monster that's going to wreck whatever it goes into. And that's the thing. I think you could put this into pretty much anything, right? Like,
sure.
Something this wouldn't just if it didn't destroy it, would absolutely like bring down to like its bottom of its health.
As you mentioned, Saray, it's also worth pointing out that you're talking about an army that croak into the target he's going into. Let's say it is Archaon. Croak and a pyramid could have already done 4d3 mortal damage on that target. So that target could have already taken 6 to 8 damage, maybe 4, maybe 10. So like that target could already have been softened up to the point where this is you know,
need everything to go through.
Yeah, like at this point, yeah.
Also, Archaon's 900 points. This is less than 400.
Right. If you think about a Gargant, right, getting through a Gargant, this guy's a big problem for a Gargant that's taken any damage because Gargants don't have good saves. Well, they have they're 4, but if you think about a Gargant that has been zapped by Croak for, let's say, 1 hero face, but imagine 2 hero faces are getting zapped by Croak, and then this guy, it's lights out, and that's by himself. He can just go in by himself and do a combat phase, and deal with this, right?
And I mean, we do need to like point out, like, unless you have that 4-point roundable, these things are not that tough.
That's right.
Up with what, 14 wounds,
14 health. Yeah, he's not that tough.
Ward.
No ward. Very few ways to get a ward in this army, also.
Yeah. So not a glass cannon, but not the toughest thing to kill. It's not going to stay around for many combat phases if you put anything worthwhile into it.
10-inch move, doesn't have fly. So it's not doing Marathi bullshit of just getting somewhere where you didn't think it was going to be able to get to. And but when it does get there, if you were trying to scrum in the middle, boy, I tell you, like, this is not an army that you want to be doing that. Between this and Croak and Croxagors and Agrodons and Saurus Guard, between those things, this army wants to meet you in the middle and just pick, all right, here we go. Because every hero phase, Croak's going to zap everything that he's going to clean up. Yeah. It's just, you have got to spread this army out. You've got to spread this army out.
Right, like, we need to think about this in the context of the army. This is just one part of an army. Yeah. You don't even have to build around this model. It can just be there.
You don't have to take Agrodons.
Something in the toolbox.
Yeah.
This thing's fucking crazy.
Yeah. He's great. I'm glad he's good. I'm glad a big scary dinosaur is good. I will say, as scary and cool and awesome as he is, sort of the same thing as a Stonehorn. At the end of the day, I think Agrodons, frankly, and Croxagors are going to be still your, like, better, more predictable damage output. Especially those units can be brought back by Slann on a 4-up. This guy cannot. So at half size, but still, three Croxagors or 3 Agrodons is good. Yeah, but this guy is a missile, And frankly, I think his best defense is a good offense and an unrendable 4-up save. He's going to run in, murder something, and be like, "Oh, here I am," and he's not going to have to deal with slapbacks very often. Is the point?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, chat. What are we missing?
Yes.
What's going on? What are we missing?
What are we talking about? Should we just go to the
Polly did Polly lie?
Is Polly lying to us?
We know Polly is a known liar.
He's a known liar.
He's a known dirty liar who might have lied about Dawn of War. But what is being... Oh, no, not Dawn of War. Total War. Right? No, what did he say? Polly, what did you lie about?
Dawn of War.
Dawn of War.
Okay, why don't you...
He wasn't lying. Soups doesn't lie. Okay, original being remastered. That's okay. That's fun. That's fun.
Why don't you bring up the... you can go to... Bring up the internet mode.
Internet mode?
Put in studio mode. We can just do a quick rundown. You know what? There's not any fucking Age of Sigmar.
Well, I suppose we're not surprised by that too much.
They tried once and said, you know what? This isn't working. The unfortunate thing with Age of Sigmar is they'd have to put a lot of money to make a good game, and there's just not that much. 40K is just too easy. Too straightforward to make a video game.
Okay, let's see. Is it over?
I was just going to go to the Warhammer community site.
Oh, Warhammer community site.
Yeah, they have an article up. So they've got Space Marine Mastercraft editions. So that's what, the first Space Marine remastered. It looks fine. Looks good. What is Dark Heresy? Is this by the same people? It is the same people as Rogue Trader. That's fun. I'm definitely interested in Dark Heresy. I thought Rogue Trader was fine, but like coming right off the heels of Baldur's Gate 3, a CRPG that didn't have millions of dollars put into it, felt kind of static and like it was missing stuff. But I think that enough time has gone by. I'm willing to hop back in.
Oh, look, there's a little Kroot.
Yeah. I mean, that looks fun. Dark Heresy looks real fun.
The definitive edition. Dawn of War.
Yeah. Cool. I'm down to play it.
Now, a question. When they remaster it, do they do things like add units that have been added in the real game?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I'm going to assume this is just a graphical... We're not going to watch a trailer because we don't want to get demonetized.
Yeah.
We need. I don't know. Maybe we should do some tournaments or something. We should have some Discord tournaments.
Absolutely. What's Bolt Gun 2?
Bolt Gun is basically old school Doom, and this is a sequel to it.
Oh, cool.
It looks like a Blood Crusher.
Oh yeah, I can see it looks like Doom. That's fun. That's the one I would want to play.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, very fun. Wow. Wait, is it actually a reskin of Dune?
No. It's its own game, but it's very that that kind of fast movement, early Doom.
Oh yeah, that I guess that would have been my follow-up question, Soups. Is like, are the Space Marines Primaris when they remaster it, or I guess not? Interesting.
Yeah, Space Marine 2, Siege mode. This just looks like a Horde mode.
Well, this is the game I want to play right here. Bolt Gun 2.
I think you'd like it. It is very old school Doom.
Okay, it looks pretty fun. Yeah.
Warhammer mode.
Words of vengeance.
They lean into the silliness of it.
Yeah, prepare for the worst. So is its own excuse. Look at this. You've typed a wrong letter. This is amazing. I want to play this game so bad. Meg, look at this stupid game. Can we play this? There's no escape. Oh my god.
Urge the unclean? Not purge the unclean.
Thin your paints.
Urge the unclean.
I know. This is fun. Oh wow, you can already play this on Steam. I wonder if I can play it on an Apple. Probably not.
So not only do we have Doom, we have Typing of the Dead, Typing of the Undead. Amazing.
Look, Saray, Meg said the same thing you and I said earlier in chat. No time for this game. We were talking about how we don't really play video games, and our big reason is that we have to paint models all the time.
Because as a Gundam, I had to paint.
Yeah. What is this game? This is more
Space Marine 2. Okay. Space Marine 2. This is siege mode. I'm guessing this is like a zombie horde mode.
Oh, okay.
Looks good. That white scar's looking real good. I wish they would have done. I can't believe they did fucking salamanders and they made it a sniper. That's like the least salamanders thing there is. They made a cosmetic pack for salamanders and made it a sniper, not a heavy, like they should have.
Here's a white scar assault intercessor.
That makes sense, at least.
I mean, barely. There's a blood angel tac marine right next to him. It's like
probably maybe. I mean, that blood angel would have liked the jetpack as well. And then you can be a cop in Darktide. Neat. And then the video's unavailable for Rogue Trader.
Classic.
And then Mechanicus 2. We're gonna have some sick music. Man, I get that. Mechanicus 1 had an amazing soundtrack.
Very cool.
Good lord, how many games did they?
There's a lot. And no power.
It's too much. All right, yeah. And then they did
no
Warhammer.
Power wash.
Yeah.
No power wash. I wanted a power wash simulator reskin where you get to be the Tau and clean battle suits. Those battle suits are clean. Someone is power washing. I guess it's a drone. That would have been fun.
Yeah. All right, then there's the rest. I don't really care about the rest. Vermintide.
We're barely down this thing.
Yeah, it starts to get to the point where it's like I don't care about Tacticus. No offense to anyone who plays Tacticus.
It starts to get
Vermintide looks super fun though.
I'm getting like doctor's office on my phone vibes as we get down here a little further. Okay, this is Vermintide. Yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Back to real.
Back to the reality of ending this stream right now. Yeah. So a reminder. Yeah, that's cool. A reminder tonight is a game here on the channel at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That is 7 hours from now. Saray and I will be playing. It'll be Iron Jaws versus Daughters of Cain. Meg will be there. And we're gonna see what happens. We don't know. We think
After talking about how terrifying witch elves are. Let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens. We think it's an okay matchup, maybe because of armor and rend, but we'll see.
Wards.
And wards. We'll see how many dice can get through things sometimes. Both
could be nothing. Could be a lot.
Could be a lot.
Could be a really long game or a very short one.
Yeah, we're not sure. I was like, it could be 90 minutes, could be 4 hours. Don't know. Yeah. Okay, we're ending the poll. Craptodon, which I think is just a word we use to make fun of things, has beaten out Earl Sinclair from Dinosaurs to be favorite dinosaur. Earl Sinclair, pretty terrifying in a way. Yeah.
Just in general.
What tomorrow? I think tomorrow we have a pretty good hunch of what it is based on the clue.
What did it say?
It says the arch enemy of Seraphon. So that means what'd you say?
Ice Age?
Ice Age meteors? Mammals? Fur?
Mammals?
Yeah.
All right, so tomorrow almost certainly saves the darkness. Then.
Yeah. Very good, folks. Thank you for being here with us today. Saray, did we do it? Anything else?
I think so.
Okay.
I think we did it.
See you folks later tonight. Be kind to each other yourselves. Always be creating. Bye, everyone.
Bye.